tortured is From the Front Row with Johnathan T. Rokford.
What? Oh, you know I'm gonna talk about it, Flip. Come on now. You know me better than that. I gotta say something about it. No. I'm going to talk about it. I'm sorry. Yes. What's up, WPA? It's me, Johnathan T. Rokford. And honestly, folks, before I get into all of the insane stuff that happened in the last 2 weeks in WPA, before I even start to be myself, I want to say a special shout out to John Manuel, aka Tezzeret. My brother, just know that you are loved here in WPA. We're praying for you. Get well soon. You're a tremendous asset to WPA. Know that you have people here that care about you. Even though we don't know you personally, we don't have to. You're part of the WPA family, and we can't wait till you get back, man. So, that's from the heart. I know I could speak for pretty much all of WPA and your faction members when I say we love you. Please, you come back when you're ready to go. Let us know when you're ready, and I don't think I can say it any better than that. Now, ding dong, it's your boy, and yes, I'm not even going to wait to talk about this. Sportscaster of the year, Johnathan T. Rokford here. The national treasure, host of the longest running episodic show here on WPA, From the Front Row. And folks, if you think waiting for me every week is an exciting adventure as you wait for me to titillate your senses and torture your ears, we got news that there's a talk show coming, folks. The Third Degree with the master Sean Puff will be here next week. I don't know about you folks, but I am highly excited to see this. This is going to be a game changer right here, folks. No pun intended there. But it will be a segue later. I mean, the Master Sean Puff, excellent talker. Interviewing, asking the hard-hitting questions. Folks, he's about to turn WPAA upside down. Yes, I said WPAA. I had to stress that A. I'm excited to see this, folks. I'm going to be watching. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be watching. And if you are a true supporter of WPA, support the show. Watch the show. Comment on the show. Critique it. Critiques only make things better, folks. But please, if you're going to critique, critique in private. Hit him up directly. Save the comments for in character action. Speaking of in character action, folks, we had our game changer champion Johnny Rocco, who seemed content on challenging people involved in championship matches. He started with his tag team turmoil partner, Lycan Umbros, and that match went into a semi-marathon, with the end result being Johnny Rocco coming out on top, showing the Lycan who was the better of the team. Now, he moved on. And just to be fair, folks, he challenged Lycan's opponent, Shepherd Bane. Now, that one was a walk-off. There was no contest there, folks, as he dispatched him in one night. Now, searching for better competition, he approached Quanty Fist, took him on, and that match, that was a pretty good match, folks. I'm not gonna lie. Johnny Rocco and Quanty Fist broke a couple vending machines with that match, and hey, in the end though, Johnny Rocco, Turtle said that he was going to beat him too. Yeah, I'm scared of Turtle, bro. Turtle has some kind of visions every now and then. But to end the anniversary week, Johnny Rocco decided to select an opponent worthy of his caliber of competition, and he selected James Altrez, which, I'm sorry, folks, that was too much of a coincidence. But that one, out of the 2 weeks of matches Johnny Rocco had for that game changer match, that was a banger of a game changer match, and it came down to almost a millisecond. But Johnny Rocco was able to come out victorious, and is still, after 2 weeks of competition, your game changer champion. Now, who we decide to select next, folks, who knows? Well, Johnny knows, I guess. But once again, folks, happy anniversary to WPA from your Sportscaster of the Year. Now, we did have a lot of matches, folks. Few dark matches, and then number one contender matches, and then, of course, as always, the piece de la resistance championship matches, as almost every title was on the line except the TV championship. That'll be on the line next week. Now, of course, we start the night off with a Bruno match, so we're not even going to talk about that, folks. But we will talk about Jackson Ayers, the Blueprint newcomer to WPA, who was scheduled for a match against Fuego L. And, Fuego didn't show up. He must have heard about Jackson's reputation. I mean, say what you want. You might not know him, folks, but I've heard things about Jackson Ayers, folks. But Jackson was able to join Claude Queensville and Peter Phillips on commentary and did an excellent job, folks. Most of the guys who wound up on commentary because of their matches or their opponents not showing up do a pretty good job on commentary. Now, so our first official match featured the Forgotten One, Maddie Ice, versus the Supreme Knight. And folks, Maddie Ice dominated the match. It was like the Joker versus Batman. And the Joker killing one of the Robins. Folks, it was like Supreme Knight couldn't find the right answer to beat Maddie Ice. I swear the guy had ice going through his veins. The things he did in the ring, the crowd was on their feet. And it was the perfect match to get the night started. As we headed to our number one contender matches. And folks, our first number one contender match was to determine the number one contender for the television title currently being held by the Ronin, Shona Campbell. And we had Casper 2779 versus the South Bronx Savage versus the Emperor 2K Anomaly. And if you're thinking for one moment that Casper 2779 was pinned, you'd be wrong, folks. You would also be wrong if you thought he won that match. And I'm not gonna lie, folks. I thought he was gonna win it. I was rooting for him. I mean, what about you? You wasn't? You saw trouble coming? All right, well, Lola didn't agree with me. She's tough to please. But South Bronx Savage, bueno, sir. Bueno, senor. Was able to pin the Emperor 2K Anomaly and pick up the win and become the number one contender for the television title. So he will be facing Shona Campbell. And I hope he, one, shows up to the fucking match. And two, brings his fucking A game. Because Shona Campbell is not taking any prisoners. It's a whole new attitude. And if you go back to what I said a while back, folks, you can change your name 100 times until you change that attitude. You won't be successful here in WPA. Shona, yes, she added something to her name, but it was her attitude change that put her in the position she is in now. It was her being mentored by a faction that is highly successful that put her where she's at now. Granted, that was just maybe 10% of why Shona is as successful as she is. The other 90% is just Shona, folks. I mean, hey, sometimes you gotta crack a couple eggs and make an omelet. Damn. Omelet would taste really good right now. Yeah, it would, Lola. It would taste really good right now. But nevertheless, we'll get that later. Our next number one contender match was for the triple threat. Who would move on to face our triple threat champion? Match 1 saw Money taking on Needles Kane and Mac Blakely. And of course, I don't even know why we do triple threat matches here in WPA, because somebody's guaranteed not to show the fuck up. So it was Money versus Mac Blakely. And depending on how you look at it, I mean, some people might have said Money was going to lose that one. But he won it, folks. I mean, say what you will about Money. He's a very accomplished performer here in WPA. Former world champ, former TV champ, game changer champ. He can win when he wants to. And sometimes he doesn't need a bowl of Lucky Charms. But he picked up the win in match 1. In match 2, we had Martel the Carpenter versus Crusher LB versus Frankie Bones. And yes, we know, folks, Martel got pinned. Yeah, I know, Lola. It's crazy. Imagine that. As Frankie Bones pinned Martel, yes, because Crusher LB wasn't even there to get pinned, so Martel had to take the loss. Sucks. Hey, you know what? At least Martel still has that unsanctioned heavyweight title that he never defends. Never. One time, and he didn't even show up for the match and still won. Now, our next number one contender match was a six-pack challenge to determine number one contender for the IC title. And we had the Prince of Crime Delirious versus the Super Champion King versus a legacy winner, award winner, the Wraith, versus Donnie Boy, versus Big Mel, versus the badass Eddie Vendetti. And folks, there's been very few times in WPA that this has happened, but it happens. Big Mel, while he was pinning Delirious, Eddie Vendetti pinned Donnie Boy at the same time, causing the ref to count to 3 and award both guys the win. So, we will have a triple threat match, folks. God damn it. One you couldn't just win. I mean, gee whiz. Anyway, it will be a triple threat match, folks, because, you know, how could it be any other kind of way in WPA but a triple threat match? Sucks to be the champion, though. I mean, those are two good competitors. Big Mel is a former IC champion in his own right. The badass Eddie Vendetti, you know, even in a loss, the dude is tough. I mean, you don't get a name like badass from being weak. Right? Am I right? Yeah, exactly. So, our next number one contender match was a fatal... Shut up, Lola. I'm talking. Hey, watch your mouth, okay? We had a fatal 5-way, folks. And it was Nercahante, who's just recently off a world title reign. The Kingpin, JP DiMaggio. The Darkstalker, Johnny Rocco. And Winthorpe Percy Alexander IV. I mean, that's a lot of titles. I mean, each of them one reign each, but that's a pretty good match, folks. That's like dream matches. And Johnny Rocco was this close to winning, folks, until JP DiMaggio broke up the pin and pinned Nercahante. So he is now your number one contender for the world title. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything. Yes, I do. I know I do. But I got to give props to JP DiMaggio. Yes, I do. I mean, he had a guy who was sucking. Well, let's call it what it is. Just sucking. Came back. Picked himself up. And is now the number one contender for the world title. Folks, he could be champion again. I mean, if he keeps on this track record, folks, I mean, next year he could be the next most improved performer. I mean, you can't. I could say somebody sucks, but that'll go week by week, folks. The next week you probably will fucking just kill it. And I will give you your props. I will give you your flowers. I will call a spade a spade. And hats off to JP DiMaggio. Especially after being attacked and betrayed by somebody he trusted? I mean, the guy had a lot on his plate. But hey, my hat's off to him. Now, our next match, we got into our championship matches. Yes! And we started off with the Trios Championship. And it was the agency, folks. James Outraz, the Standard, Starlin J, and Mr. Money in the Bank, Texas Hate You, taking on Sinister, Jermaine Walker, the Ronin Shona Campbell, and the Messiah. Lola, who do you think not only won the match, who do you think got pinned? Exactly. The Standard. Starlin J was pinned by the Ronin, Shona Campbell, who captained her team to victory. She led the way and pinned Starlin J. Now, there's a lot I can say about that, folks. We all know my history with Starlin J. But after what that little doll said earlier, I think she said it all. I don't need to repeat it. No, I'm serious. I don't need to say it. I will say that it appears during the match, Starlin J looked like she incurred an injury. Although I'm pretty sure that right jab by Shona didn't help her cause. Whew. Yeah. Who didn't see that coming, folks? Come on. Even Turtle saw that coming. I mean, Turtle said there was no way in the world the agency was going to win this match. You know, that's scary flip. Turtle predicts some of these matches, and it has a very high percentage of the times he's right. So we have new Trios champions as Sinister adds another trophy to the case. Despite James Outraz's attempts at mind games. Yes, mind games. He tried his hardest too. So, not only did James Outraz lose that, yes, he lost that match, and he lost the game changer match. And I there's a part of me that thinks Johnny Rocco did that on purpose. I mean, come on. Let's look at who he challenged. Everybody Johnny Rocco challenged for a game changer match was involved in a championship match. Not number one contender matches. They were involved in championship matches. And other than Lycan Umbros, who of course picked up the win, everybody lost their championship match. That's crazy. Now I'm talking about. I don't care about number one. I don't care about the contender matches. They come and go. Championship matches though, they're not that easy to come by. And Johnny Rocco, I think he literally just tired out the challengers and one champion. Never mind it. Two of the opponents were facing his Sinister faction. Come on, Lord. Dude, does that compute? Yes. Oh. More like a ding dong. That dude's crazy. Now, our next was a tag team championship match, and it involved the Order, the Master Sean Puffin Crisales, taking on the Killer Goons, Money MF and Mike, and Brasshole. And I'm sorry, folks. For once in his life, the Master Sean Puff led the way and brought his team to victory. Yes, I know. I'm amazed too. Yeah, they won. So we still tag team champs. They're good to go. As the Order retained their titles against the Killer Goons, who, by all rights, folks, Killer Goons are. When you go up against the Killer Goons, you gotta bring your A game anyway, and that's just what the Order did. That's the only way you're gonna beat them. Whether it be Killer Goons or Oriole Speedwagon, hell, even Sinister, you gotta bring your A game, and that's what the Order did. So hats off to the Order, Master Sean Puff and Crisales, for winning the tag team titles. I don't care if you didn't win an award. You got your you left the week with your titles intact. Now, Triple Threat Championship came up afterwards, and we had Cats and underscore Corey taking on the sponsored athlete Jalen Masters versus DJ Tech. And as much you think I hate triple threat matches, Jalen Masters cannot stand multi-man matches to the point where he doesn't put any effort in. He's like, screw it. But when he does, folks, now I say he's one of the hardest people to beat one-on-one. Don't let him focus and have a title on line in a multi-person match. You need to make sure you step your game up. And unfortunately, his opponents couldn't step his game up as Jalen Masters pinned DJ Tech and is now our new triple threat champion. And he's, honestly, I don't know. I don't see him losing it right away. And I could be wrong. That's just my personal opinion. But considering how some of these matches go, they can be scheduled for a triple threat, but they can sometimes turn on a one-on-one situation. And Jalen Masters is hard to beat. Ask Jermaine Walker. Ask Johnny Rocco. They'll tell you. And those two are hard to beat. One-on-one. They'll tell you in a heartbeat. Jalen Masters is, and this, my opinion, folks, the show's opinion, he's one of the hardest to beat one-on-one. He's a tough son of a bitch. If you beat Jalen Masters one-on-one, then that means you stepped up your fucking game. Yes, I know Jermaine Walker's the god. But even he lost to Jalen Masters. Like I said what I said. Fuck it. I said what I said. Now, our next championship match was the United States Championship, and we have Lycan Umbris, who was engaged in a tough match. Both competitors were probably worn out from the game-changer match, but Lycan Umbris had enough in the tank to defeat Shepard Bane and retain his United States Championship. And he's gunning for Big Mel's record. I'm telling you right now. Right now, he's sitting on top of the top 10 as the new season starts. Yes, that's trouble for everybody. United States champion is at top of the top 10. Exactly, Lola. Not the world champ. The United States champ. He worked his ass off to get there, folks. I mean, come on. Next to Jalen Masters, that's another guy that's tough to beat. Now, next match was the WPA Intercontinental Championship, and we had the Beast, David Smith, taking on the man nobody wants to lose to, Kwani Fist. And once again, folks, it's one thing to have a game changer match and the person waits till you finish your match to have the match, or has it before your match. Johnny Rocco decided to catch Kwani Fist as he was stretching for his match, folks, and they broke some vending machines, much to the delight of Fat Thomas. That was free snacks for him all day. It's oh, I'm not gonna repeat that. Watch your mouth, Lola. But yes, the Beast beat Kwani Fist to retain his IC title, and it's not going to get any easier for him, folks. He's got a triple threat match coming up, and I think he anticipated Big Mel. But badass Eddie Vendetti? It's going to be tough, folks. It's never easy having a title. Now, the match that made the studio cheer, we had Luna versus Lady Assassin, and the Women's International Championship was on the line. And folks, finally, the woman I predicted would win it on the first try finally got her hands on that title. I said if she kept going, she would get her hands on that title, folks. And we're so proud of Lady Assassin, folks. The original, the OG lady of WPA is now our Women's International Champion. I know. I can't help it if I'm a fan of Lady Assassin. I can't help it, Lola. First lady here in WPA. She deserves this title around her waist. She has a very good resume. I mean, it speaks for itself. You can say, oh, she's lost this, she's lost that, but folks, that means you haven't been paying attention to Lady Assassin. The lady gets titles. And now she has another one to her resume. And with that, folks, that also means this one thing as I'm thinking about it. Yeah, Lola, you know what I mean. The Queen. The Ronin. First Lady. Luna. Lady Assassin. The Women's International Championship has now been held at least one time by all 5 women in WPA. The first should be the last, and the last should be the first. Lady Assassin now sits on top of the women's division as the champion. And speaking of champions, the world title was on the line as Red Death took on Fat Thomas. And I'm sorry, folks. The match wasn't funny. It's just the fact that Fat Thomas attempted to hit a move called the Eclipse on Red Death. Red Death was able to move out of the way, and Fat Thomas wound up on his back and couldn't get up. And Red Death was able to take the opportunity to pin him and pick up the win. Yes, he needs to lose some weight. But he wouldn't be fat if he wasn't heavy. Exactly. That's for real. And with that, folks, that was the WPA anniversary. And yes, this is a long show, folks, and we still have Philip to come with his pick for the week. It will be short. Maybe. He's a little pissed off because I won the award. Congratulations to all of the award winners in WPA. Well deserved. Top threes. Of course, myself included, of course. Of course, Lola. Of all my co-hosts, you're my favorite. You always will be. My little. Exactly. Stay tuned for Philip as he gives you his top pick for the week. Which actually, he has 2 picks this week. 2 weeks, 2 picks. Make sure you're watching the WPA page as we get ready for a new week. I'm Johnathan T. Rokford, folks. Sportscaster of the Year. Yeehaw! Exactly. Remember, folks, don't drink and drive. Make sure you hug your loved ones. And pick up the phone and call that friend. They might need to hear your voice. I'll see you when I see ya. What do you mean, why weren't you involved in the voting? You don't even show up on camera. And don't think I don't see those words above my head when you be typing either. You ain't slick. You know I watched the show, right? Hello, WPA. Once again, it is I, Philip Alexander Carrington IV. And I'm here to allow you the honor to hear my voice once again, even though you didn't deem me worthy enough to even make the top 3 Sportscaster of the Year, but that's never. But I'm not bitter. Congratulations, Johnathan, on winning an award. We should see what should happen next time. But I shall not dilly-dally, as this week I have 2 picks for my picks of the week. And my first pick, of course, goes to the original First Lady of WPA, Lady Assassin, on winning the Women's International title. A well-deserved win ending the former champ's reign very abruptly and taking her place where she belongs. As for my second pick, that, my friends, goes to the one Kingpin JP DiMaggio. We've watched you crawl your way from the cellar up to the penthouse, winning a shot at the WPA world title. And so you should hold your head up high. Now, I would advise you to keep that same fire and get that title. You know, as Johnathan said, this is a short segment, especially after he took so long to talk. But I don't need much time. I don't require it. Lady Assassin and JP DiMaggio showed what true grit and perseverance will get you. Now, while Maggio's road still has one more leg to go, the assassin will undoubtedly face great challenges, as we do have a very extraordinary women's division, which we are all proud of, ladies. You do an excellent job. All of you are world class. DiMaggio, I look forward to seeing you in that title match and seeing what you do against a very tough opponent in Red Death. Until then, happy anniversary, WPA. And I bid you good day. I said good day.